Hey yogis and welcome. My name is Janine and this here is Oscar. Thank you for joining us here today. Whatever time of day this video finds you, I hope that your day has been beautiful thus far. Today's practice is a deep stretch sequence that is meant to leave you feeling more spacious and relaxed. We'll be getting into all areas of the body, so this is a full body flow. We'll be getting into some deep stretches for our hamstrings and our hips, as well as getting into our shoulders, chests, and even our feet. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to begin lying down, so taking your time as you make your way onto your back. Beginning our practice in a constructive rest position, so bringing our feet flat on the earth, walking them about as wide as our mat, and then knocking your knees in towards one another. And before we get into our first stretch today, we're going to begin today's practice with some pranayama, checking in with our breath. So maybe while we do this, if you'd like, go ahead and place both your hands over top of your belly. Just taking a moment to notice your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your hands as you breathe. Then you can slowly begin to start deepening your breath, beginning to really actively fill yourself up, feeling your breath travel deep within your belly, through your diaphragm and up into your chest, breathing in as deep and as full as you can until you feel like your breath is completely at the top, like you are completely full of prana, full of this life force energy, this chi, which is your breath. And then when you're so full you can't take any more oxygen in, you let it all go on an exhale. Maybe that exhale is out the mouth, along with a sigh. So a few times like this on your own, deeply breathing in, nourishing yourself with your inhale, filling yourself all the way up, and then letting it go on your exhale. How does it feel to be breathed? To be conscious and aware of your breath? On your next inhale, you can go ahead and hug your knees into your chest, continuing to breathe as you rock side to side here, just getting into a little massage in the lumbar spine. And from here, we're going to lift up our head and our torso, beginning to hug our knees so tightly in towards us. So we're like a little pod or a little seed. Take a full round of breath here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And as you exhale, go ahead and release, lengthening both legs to the end of the mat and opening up our arms in a little shavasana shape just for a moment. Just taking a second here to notice how you feel. Beginning to bend one knee and then the other, bringing your feet again flat onto the earth. And from here, go ahead and hug your right knee in towards your chest and give it a little squeeze. How is this right leg feeling today? Maybe you want to rock it a little side to side, just starting to get some movement. And then you can begin to lengthen that right leg all the way up towards the sky, grabbing onto the back of the thigh or maybe the calf or the ankle if you're feeling flexible today. Feel free to keep in as big or as little of a bend into your knee as you would like here. Just starting out gentle as we get into our first deep hamstring stretch today. Keeping your shoulder blades heavy and flat on the earth, keeping your head heavy here so you're not lifting anything up. Maybe if you would like to try lengthening your left leg to the end of the mat. If you want to get into a bit of a deeper sensation, then give that a go. From here, you can begin to point and flex into that right foot. Maybe circling out the ankle here, moving in one direction, And when you're ready, moving in the other, remembering your breath. From here, go ahead and begin to slide your hands down your leg, coming towards your foot as you bend deeply into your right knee. We're setting ourselves up for a half happy baby here. So maybe you'd like to grab onto your shin or your ankle, or maybe even the outside of your right foot. Try to actively push your left hip down so you're not rolling yourself over onto your right hand side. I find it can help to bring my left hand onto my left hip to help remind it to stay down. So bringing in that deep, nourishing breath again through this deep hip stretch. We're going to slowly start to come out of this stretch, so bringing your foot towards your groin and then releasing your foot slowly and bringing your right foot down to meet your left, opening up your palms once again, staying for a breath or two in the Shavasana shape just to check in. How does the right side feel now compared to the left? And when you're ready, go ahead and bend both knees once again, soles of the feet onto the mat. And go ahead and hug your left knee now in towards your chest, getting into the other side now, so maybe rocking out your leg here a little bit, seeing how this side feels. Then let's go ahead and lengthen our left leg up towards the sky, grabbing onto the back of the thigh or the calf or maybe the ankle or the foot, bending as much as you need to in this leg. Making sure again that you're not lifting up your shoulders or your chest here. We want to keep our torso nice and relaxed onto the earth. Maybe if it felt good on the other side, see how it feels to lengthen your right leg to the end of the mat. Beginning to point and flex into your left foot, circling out the ankle, and moving in the other direction when you're ready. Breathing deeply, sending your breath to any big sensation. Just noticing what's there. Taking another big breath in. And exhale as you begin to bend your knee, sliding your hand down your leg so you're reaching towards your shin, your ankle, or the outer edge of your foot. So we can open ourselves up for that half happy baby now on our left side. Maybe again, actively pushing your right hip down so you're not rolling over onto your left hand side. Breathing into this deep hip stretch. And on your next exhale, you can go ahead and release, letting go of your foot and your leg and extending it out to meet your right, long at the end of your mat. Just taking a full round of breath here. Bending your knees again and then hugging them in towards you, a little rock of the spine here. And go ahead and roll yourself over to whichever side feels good, just staying in a fetal position for a breath. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and push yourself up, taking your time. And we're just going to meet on our shins, so sitting back on your heels. If that's not comfortable for you today, then that's okay. You can just sit in a cross-legged seat. And if you are seated on your shins, you can go ahead and pick up your hips, and we're going to move them over towards our right-hand side. So we're seated onto our right glute. Going to grab on to our left shin with our left hand here, and maybe even just slide that leg out a couple inches. Go ahead and reach your right arm up and overhead, so we're getting into a nice big stretch here on the right side body, curving your spine over, using your left hand as leverage. Taking a breath in, we're going to come back to center, then plant your right hand to the mat as you reach your left up and overhead. So we're getting into a counter stretch, now opening up the side body on the left-hand side. Breathing in as you come back to center, and breathing out as you begin to stretch yourself over again to the opposite side. So we're going to do that a couple times, following your breath, feeling that length you're creating in the side body. Inhale to come up. And exhale to change sides. Maybe seeing how deep you'd like to bend into your right elbow here as you reach away with your left arm. Completing your last round wherever you are, we're going to come back to center, lifting our hips back up so we're seated onto our heels once again. And from here, let's give some love to our feet and our toes. Go ahead and tuck your toes back behind you, making sure that all 10 toes are spread. Your big toes are touching, your thighs are squeezing together, and put as much weight as feels comfortable to you onto your heels here. Also check in what you're doing with your spine. Are you really curving and rounding your spine forward? Maybe actively tuck your tailbone and try to come into the stretch with a flat back so we're not arching in our spine too much. Let's bring some focus in now with Gyan Mudra, so bringing your thumb and your index finger together, then placing your palms facing up on top of your thighs. Taking 2 more rounds of breath, you got this. And go ahead and release. Let's roll forward onto our hands and knees, setting ourselves up in a tabletop. On your inhale, go ahead and drop your belly, gaze looks up for your cow pose, and exhale as you round your spine, coming into a cat shape. One more time on your own, just feeling out the spine, getting in a little undulation here. Once completed, coming to a neutral spine, we'll go ahead and sit back onto our heels, setting ourselves up for our lateral stretch on the other side. Once there, go ahead and pick up your hips, scooting them over to the left side so you're sitting onto your left glute, grabbing onto your right shin this time and moving it out a couple inches. Then when you're ready, you can go ahead and stretch your arm overhead, coming into that little bend, that C shape. Maybe actively pushing into your left sit bone here as well and see how that changes the stretch. Not forgetting to breathe, not forgetting to fill yourself with that beautiful nourishing breath. So when you inhale, you'll come up, and on your exhale, you'll change sides, placing your left hand beside you and reaching up with your right. Getting nice and long in the side body, feeling how different each side can feel. Try to really open up your chest here towards the sky as well and see how that changes sensation. One more time, switching sides. Big breath here. And let's come back to center, picking up your hips again and placing them on your heels. And for good measure, let's get right back into that toe squat. So go ahead and tuck your toes, bringing your hips on your heels, maybe putting a little bit more weight than you did before. This time on your inhale, let's go ahead and open up our arms into a cactus shape. Squeeze your shoulder blades. And let's invite back in that Gyan Mudra, so bringing that point of focus for our deep sensations happening in our feet and our toes here. Taking a big breath in, and on your exhale, you can bring your hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra. And let's go ahead and release, so untucking your toes, this time giving them a little pat on the floor, so hitting the tops of the feet onto your mat, just releasing that deep stretch. Finding ourselves in a neutral tabletop. From here, let's slowly begin to walk our hands forward to the top of the mat, so much that our elbows find the earth, and then we begin to sink our chest and our forehead down onto the earth, coming into puppy pose. This is a big stretch in the chest and the shoulders here. Maybe pushing actively into your hands and see how that changes or deepens sensation. Checking in with your breath. As you inhale, we're going to slowly begin to roll ourselves forward onto our belly. So we're on our forearms here. And from here, just go ahead and bend each elbow, stacking your hands over one another. And we're just going to lay ourselves down using our hands as a pillow, resting our forehead there. Maybe taking this moment to ask yourself how you're doing, letting the earth hold you. Maybe beginning to rock out the hips here, so you're just getting a little massage on the sacrum. This can feel really nice and can be quite relaxing. When you're ready, you can begin to lift your head up and push yourself up onto your elbows. We're going to bring our left hand here, tenting our fingertips right underneath our left shoulder. Then from here, stretching your right arm long out beside you. Turning your head so the right side of your head and your ear can relax down onto the earth. And from here, you're going to use that left hand to help push you over so that you're rolling onto your right side. Maybe it feels good to bend each knee and stack them over one another. This can be a little bit of a gentler variation. Or perhaps you'd like to extend out long into your right leg, bending into your left, and placing the sole of your left foot back behind you so your knee is facing towards the sky. Maybe you even allow for your foot to roll over onto its outer edge. Using your left hand here to help open up your chest even more. So getting a big stretch, maybe in the pectorals here, and the shoulders, into the hips even. So where do you feel it? Taking another deep round of breath, and we'll slowly begin to come out of it. So rolling back onto your stomach, and then extending your left arm long beside you, following with your right. Letting your head just be heavy here and your shoulders rounding forward as you lay flat onto the earth. Taking a full round of breath before we switch sides. And now bending the elbow and bringing your right hand underneath that right shoulder. Turning your head to gaze the opposite way now, bringing your left ear and head onto the earth. Stretching your left arm long out away from you. And when you're ready, you can begin to push yourself over onto your left side, finding your variation with your legs here, whatever felt good for you. Maybe you will feel different on this side, so feel free to try each variation as you allow yourself to melt into this shape, breathing fully, breathing deeply. We're going to slowly come out of it now. So lengthening your legs if you have them bent and rolling onto your stomach. Bringing both arms now long beside you as you let yourself just relax into the earth here. Let your whole body be heavy. And bringing both of your hands now under your shoulders so you can push yourself up onto your knees, bringing your knees more to the center of the mat, sinking your hips onto your heels, and we'll round ourselves forward so our forehead is coming onto the mat and we're coming into Balasana, child's pose. Maybe seeing how it feels to grab onto your feet and your heels back behind you, creating a bit more of an active stretch so you're really rounding your spine, almost like you're in a cat shape. Let's take 3 more of those deep, full rounds of breath here. As you begin your next inhale, we're going to slowly lift our torso up. So we're coming on to our heels in a seat. Just letting your spine be long here for a moment. And then we'll sink our hips over to either side and stretching our legs out long in front of us. Coming into Dandasana or staff pose. So bring both your hands flat on the earth beside you. Actively push away from you with your hands, growing your spine nice and long. Both of your feet are flexed here. Let's take a deep, full round of breath in this shape. This is quite an active pose. And then on your next exhale, you can begin to bend deeply into both knees, grabbing onto your feet here. And slowly begin to slide your feet away from you, lengthening your legs once again, and rounding yourself forward into a seated forward fold. So you're pulling yourself forward by holding onto your feet here. Your legs absolutely do not need to be completely straight. Just let yourself round into this shape. Getting a deep hamstring stretch here, as well as really stretching out along the spinal column. Breathing into your sensations. On your next inhale, you can release your feet and slowly begin to slide your hands up your legs as you round yourself ever so slowly down onto your back. So doing this mindfully with control. Once you're there, you can begin to bend your knees, hugging them in towards you, and just giving yourself a little rock here once again. Maybe asking yourself if anything has changed since the beginning of your practice today. From here, we're going to slide our hands in between our legs, grabbing onto the outer edges of our feet and coming into our full happy baby now. Actively pushing your feet away from you as you're pulling them down towards you with your hands, so you have this equal opposition happening. Your knees coming in the direction of your elbows. Breathing here. As you exhale, you can go ahead and bring your feet in towards each other and then releasing them down towards the mat, feet flat on the earth. We're just going to let our legs fall over now to the right-hand side, so coming into a little windshield wiper shape, but just holding here for a full round of breath. And as you inhale, you can bring them back to center, and exhale as you drop them over to the left-hand side now. Breathing here. And on your next inhale, bringing it back to center. And as you exhale, we're just going to lengthen both of our legs long to the end of the mat. Getting ourselves situated now for our final resting pose, corpse pose, or shavasana. Maybe you'd like to shine your palms up towards the sky here again, letting your feet fall away from one another, letting your head, your shoulders, your hips, legs, feet all be heavy as you allow yourself to fully let go and relax into this final shape. Just doing a little body scan here and checking in with yourself, your physical self, and if there's anywhere that you can soften and let go just a little bit more. Perhaps you would like to come into some of those complete and full rounds of breath that we did when we started our practice before you settle back into your natural rhythm of breath. I encourage you to stay exactly as you are, if this is feeling nurturing and soothing to you. And this is where I will leave you, So thank you so much for joining me for this deep stretch practice. And I hope it felt good in your body. Move slowly and take care, friends. Namaste.